Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's question has 3 answers, and you're going to want to stick around because the third answer is a secret as to which tool you should learn first when you're getting started. So let's get into it. The question that was sent in today was, are the tools too difficult to learn? And this is a very common question that I get. I see this way too often. And the issue is that you're getting into self-publishing and you start to realize there are a lot of tools that you may need to learn in order to do it all yourself. And so you start with one, and then you hear about this other tool, and then you go back and find another tool that will do the same thing that you just did, but some people say it's better, and you start to both learning more tools at the same time, more tools that do the same thing at the same time, and we start to hit an overwhelm. You also can use an awful lot of money, and you're left feeling, well, look, I've paid all this money on these different tools. I feel overwhelmed. I don't really know any of them all that well, and I still haven't published my book. And the pain associated with that leaves you feeling completely hopeless. And that is what we're going to look at today. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Click the subscribe button because that will help me help more authors get their books out and in a way that is easy and pain-free. In addition, check out below in the description and you can grab a copy of my absolutely free self-publishing checklist that will make sure you are not skipping the steps that you need to be following if you wish to win the game of self-publishing. So go ahead and check that out for free. So let's get into it. I'll start a little bit with my own story and tools. When I first started, I knew a couple of the self-publishing tools. One of them was Word, and the other was Microsoft Paint. And I thought, well, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I thought I would give it a try. And so I hopped in and used these tools and very quickly discovered they were not very good at getting the formatting correct. My next step at that point was to hire people to do it, but then they were doing a poor job and creating manuscripts and covers that were not usable for my books, low quality, and needed a lot of revisions, which cost me even more money. So here we are. I thought I would use the free tools that I already had at my hand or hire people, and that left me a sense of what am I going to do from here. So the next thing was I started testing out the tools that other successful self-published authors were using and discovered quickly there are a lot of tools from Scribner to GIMP to LibreOffice, Canva. It's so many different tools, and if you want to even hire people to do it for you, there's a lot of places like Upwork and Fiverr and many other locations to find people who actually have these different options available to them, and it was so confusing for me. And one of the things you can see is the tools that I did end up selecting. You'll see them below in my description. I put them there because I get questions on a normal basis from my students to which tool is best for this thing or which tool is best for that thing. That's the reason I put my affiliate links below so that you do not have to go through this process of seeing all of the tools that do the same thing over and over, whether it's finding the keywords you're going to need for your books themselves or whether it's finding the keywords you're going to need for your advertisements or formatting your book or getting your cover into order. There's just so many different options. And you are left overwhelmed. So we can at least kill the first one, which is that pain associated with too many different options. And I wasted a lot of time and money going through these different options in order to find the absolute perfect choices when you're going to be publishing your book, which you will find below in the description. Now, a mentor of mine said that you should start with the most important thing first. So one of the ways of putting it, I can't remember if it was Covey or somebody else, but they said first things first. So we need to figure out what are the most important tools that are going to need to be used. And I started, for example, with Jutoh for the formatting, and you'll find that below in the description. I tried the Word option and LibreOffice and tried Scribner and a number of other options following these tutorials that people had put out on YouTube and other places and found it just very confusing. And I would put the books onto the market, and Amazon would reject them. And I don't know about you, but the pain associated with getting rejected time and time again can be quite painful. And so I wanted to avoid that pain and that frustration of, am I ever going to get these things out? And I discovered that Jutoh was the tool for me with regards to that. But I started learning the different tools, and eventually they began to flow, so it wasn't painful at all. I was able to teach my students and able to teach my virtual assistants as well how to use these exact tools. And so these are the ones you can see below in the description. And over a period of time, I learned the importance lesson, which was you need to learn the tools yourself first, because you can't outsource them to anybody else to do until you yourself can do these things first, and then you can hand them over to other people so that they can do it, and that will save you time. The goal is not to make you do all of the work, but if you don't understand the tools and you don't understand the process, then you're going to have problems in the long run. Now, there are some things I do not outsource, like, for example, uploading the books themselves and doing all the financial stuff with connecting my credit cards and things like that to the accounts, the bank accounts, so that the royalties flow in. I would not recommend that be outsourced and handed over to anyone else. You should do that yourself, okay? So that's just a little on the financial side. We're going to want to make sure you control that aspect of it. But in terms of everything else, you should hand it over so that you save yourself time, and then they're able to get very good at those specific tasks. But first things first, you need to know how exactly to go about with those tools. So, are the tools too difficult to learn? The first answer is yes, if you do them all at once. So if you're trying to solve every single tool, every problem at the same time, you're going to find yourself overwhelmed very, very quickly. But how do we get beyond this overwhelm? And that's the key issue. Well, you can sort of guess it. Number 2, when you're only learning one tool at a time and making daily progress, you will get good at this. And I'm telling you, I know you are probably thinking you're not very technically minded. You don't understand how to use these tools properly or the tools at all. And I'm telling you that if you use a little bit of time every day, I know I'm banging on the same drum that I say on a normal basis, but it's completely true. You learn one tool at a time, and we move a little bit forward every day. I'm saying 5 minutes is what you can start with, and slowly building up on the amount of time that you're dedicating to your books to make sure that you're going to make the progress you're going to need in the long run. And over a period of time, you will be able to do all of the steps yourself and painlessly with no overwhelm. Then we move on to the next tool and the next tool. But as I had mentioned a little bit earlier, and this is the secret answer of the day, which tool should we learn with? The answer is you should start with Jutoh. Formatting is the most important thing. You can outsource the covers, as you find below my affiliate link, to the person I use on Fiverr, who does an absolutely fantastic job. She's done thousands and thousands of covers, $20 a piece. It's so cheap. They're great. They get you the sales you need for your books, so you don't have to spend so much time learning Canva. That's the free option for doing covers yourself, but you're free to do that as well. But I would suggest the formatting is the most important thing, because if we can get your book, we take your manuscript in Word or whatever tool you're writing it in, it's been edited fine, we move it into Jutoh, and now Jutoh is a magical program that will put it into every format on the entire internet where you're going to want to publish your book. Hardback, softback, different sizes, your Kindle version, your EPUB version, all of the different versions you're going to use, and you can produce them all from this single tool. One click for each. Just click, and it produces that format that you're going to need. There are ways around this, as I tell my students, and you can ask in the comments if you have any questions on that. But I just wanted to say that for a $50 investment, you're going to get your money back very quickly on that. So Jutoh is by far the best thing, and you should start by learning that tool. And it is a little bit of a learning curve like any tool, and if you're not technically minded, but look, this is why we're here. I'm here to help you get your books onto the market so that you don't have to experience the same pain. So as you start to use Jutoh, just let me know in the comments, and I can help you through the steps. It's so unbelievably simple. So you can always just ask here, and I will definitely help you out on that. So do you feel overwhelmed by the tools you need to learn? If you feel overwhelmed or have felt overwhelmed, write the word yes below in the comments to help me. And if you have never felt overwhelmed, you just think it's so easy, then write the word no, and that will really help me, because I want to hear from you. And check out above me here for more video answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.